weekly dose of politics,
snark, and heavy metal music.
All rise, motherfucker.
For your hosts, Brandon
and Matt.
Hide the rum.
Performer hasn't been provided with a script. As a matter of fact, I have been permitted to choose my own words and discuss my own ideas regarding the choice that we face in the next few weeks. I have spent most of my life as a Democrat. I recently have seen fit to follow another course.
The defense policy of the United States is based on a simple premise. The United States does not start fights. We will never be an aggressor.
As for the peace that we would preserve, I wonder who among us would like to approach the wife or mother whose husband or son has died in South Vietnam and ask them if they think this is a peace that should be maintained indefinitely. There can be no real peace while one American is dying someplace in the world for the rest of us. We're at war with the most dangerous enemy that has ever faced mankind in his long climb from the swamp to the stars. And it's been said if we lose that war and in so doing lose this way of freedom of ours, history will record with the greatest astonishment that those who had the most to lose did the least to prevent its happening. Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the Founding Fathers.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. You and I must protect and preserve freedom here, or it will not be passed on to our children, and it will disappear everywhere in the world.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. And this idea that government is beholden to the people, that it has no other source of power except the sovereign people, is still the newest and the most unique idea in all the long history of man's relation to man. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves. Regardless of their sincerity, their humanitarian motives, those who would trade our freedom for security have embarked on this downward course. They knew that governments don't control things. A government can't control the economy without controlling people. And they know when a government sets out to do that, it must use force and coercion to achieve its purpose.
We, the people. We, the people, tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We, the people, are the driver. The government is the car. Almost all the world's constitutions are documents in which governments tell the people what their privileges are. Our Constitution is a document in which we, the people, tell the government what it is allowed to do.
This administration in Washington has betrayed the working men and women of this country.
I hope we have once again reminded people that man is not free unless government is limited. There's a clear cause and effect here that is as neat and predictable as a law of physics. As government expands, liberty contracts.
A recession is when your neighbor loses his job. A depression is when you lose yours. And recovery is when President of the United States loses his.
Someday, when the time comes to deliver the final ultimatum, our surrender will be voluntary because by that time, we will have been weakened from within spiritually, morally, and economically. The martyrs of history were not fools. Where then is the road to peace? Well, it's a simple answer after all. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.
I think it's working. It's working! Okay. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to The Machine. I am Brandon.
And I'm Matt.
And he has a sourpuss look on his face.
Oh, man, what are you trying to kill me with?
I don't know. By all means, tell the people. Is it that bad? I haven't even taken a drink of it yet.
A little on the sweet side.
Is it really?
I think it's a little too sweet.
Yeah, that's like 100 proof sugar. Holy fuck.
It's like flavored simple syrup.
Believe me, our esteemed colleague there in YouTube, listener Michael there. No, it wasn't a quick fix. I've been going at it for about 40 minutes trying to get the difficulties, the bugs worked out here, and apparently I'm trying to kill Matt with 99. What the fuck is that?
Long Island.
99 Long Island iced tea. We usually drink bourbon, and this stuff is fucking rough, man.
I like Long Island iced tea. It's just that is like super sweet. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, like I said, it's like licking a 100 proof sugar cube. What the fuck is that?
I might actually have to put some bourbon in it.
Pick your poison, sir.
The one on the left.
This one?
Yeah.
All right, that's all you. I'll go with this one. Yeah, we got to take some of that sugar out, put some good bourbon in there. Oh, right. Holy fuck, look at how much is in that glass. I'm going to be fucking cross-eyed halfway through the show. It's going to be a good fucking night. Thanks for sticking with us already. Anyhow, we actually have a lot to get to. Some stuff that's close to us, some stuff that's not so close to us, and you know what I'm saying, like geography-wise. But since we are obviously not going to be here on 9/11 doing a 9/11 show, this is basically, this is the 20-year anniversary, and this is going to be basically our remembrance. Matt, I know we do this every year, and this year is no different. Everybody remembers that day.
Mm-hmm.
Where were you, and what were you doing that day?
Okay, so
if you were rubbing one out, I don't want to know. But.
No, I was working second shift, so I was actually in bed.
Hey, Angie.
And I actually got a phone call that told me, hey, you need to wake up, you need to watch the news. And so I watched the entire thing, including the second plane hitting the tower. Because the first plane had already hit before I got notified. But
dude, I remember what I ate for breakfast that morning. I remember what was on the radio, because I was listening to the radio. What was on the radio at the time? What was I doing? Where was I going? And what it was like when I got there. It burned into my head. And I remember, I was working an early shift. Fucking right, Carl. Mr. Carl Ariaza has joined us on YouTube. And the first thing he says is, fuck the jab. I got to be careful saying that. They burned us last week. And we're not recording right now. We are just streaming. So I got to be careful a little bit. The powers that bees don't like us. Which is why we need sponsors for the show so we can get on Rumble and stuff like that because, But I was driving to work. I was working at Menards at the time. It wasn't long after I got the Red Death, my car.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to the morning show like I always did. And they broke in, said that there was an accident or something like that. Because at the time we didn't know what was going on, at the Twin Towers. And I'm like, oh, fuck. By the time I got to work, that was when the second plane had hit. And I got into that parking lot. Normally it's, it's hustling, it's bustling. It's so fucking full of people. You can't find a place to park, stuff like that. I'm looking around and there's nothing. I see the workers' cars, but there's nobody else there. And I walk in, and everybody's up at front, you know, and there's a TV up front, and they're just stopping, they're staring. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, guys? And I walked up there, and I looked, and they were replaying it as it hit. And, you know, this, I had a fucking McDonald's burrito in my hand at the time, or McDonald's breakfast sandwich at the time. You know, I remember what I was, and I'm sitting there, and I looked at it, and I just dropped it. I mean, I didn't even think about it. I dropped it on the floor, and I'm staring at the screen, and we didn't move. And I was, you know, I had an instant, I'm going to fuck somebody's ass up. That's, you know, the first thing that comes to mind is, what the fuck? That is a terrorist attack. And then it come across saying that there was a third, you know, then they start talking about a third plane.
Third plane, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, no. And I you know, I remember this whole day very, very vividly. You know, the temperature in the air had a slight breeze. You know, it's weird, the stuff that you remember. But I also remember it being almost a defining moment in my life. And we talked about that a couple of years ago. Mike said he was standing in his living room watching the news and saw it all live. Yeah. Hey, I like burritos. You're fucking Mexican, and you tell me not to eat burritos. How dare you? We love you, brother. Yeah, I seen that. I seen that, Carl. Yeah. Carl's my boy, man. We go way back. He's in an organization as well. But what I mean by, you know, it was a defining moment for me in particular was, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I was still the same guy that I was, but I was a fuck up. I mean, you know, I had quit school. I had no education. I was working in a lumber yard, you know, had no direction in life. I was an alcoholic.
Slowly sips drink.
I was an alcoholic, you know, and like I said, I really had no fucking direction in life. My only two things that I wanted to do at that time, well, three if you want to be technical, and I can't believe I'm going to say this on the air, I'm going to get yelled at for this one, was drink, fuck, and race. That was the only three things that were on my mind. I could have cared less about anything else. And it was the day after I sat down on my couch, and I kept thinking in my head, is like, you know, is this who you want to be? Do you want to be the uneducated alcoholic, or do you want to get off your fucking ass and do something and make it right? And you know, it triggered me into doing what I did. And, you know, I mean, it took me a little while. I got, you know, my GED, I got college. I took a shit ton of college classes, as much as I could fit in a week and still work. And a couple of years later, joined the military. I was like, it's payback time, motherfuckers. I know it was kind of, I think it was Sean. You better read Sean's, because he's going to punch me in a minute.
He's going to reach for the mic. Sean says, I was in class at Lincoln Lane Community College, plot twist. So for a couple of months, I was excited about the new Slayer album. I was going to get that fucking thing right after class from Best Buy. I was looking forward to God Hates Us All on Tuesday, 9/11. I had that date penciled in my brain.
Yeah, I can understand it. And actually, coincidentally, Sean, we will be playing a song from that album, actually, for you, buddy. But, you know, I just, you know, I remembered everything about that day. I know you did. I know everybody does. And the aftermath and stuff like that. And this is what I was talking about. This was our defining, you know, it wasn't just my defining moment. It was our defining moment as Americans. Because nobody gave a fuck who you were, where you came from, what your religion was. You know, if you voted for who or voted for, you know, whatever else. You all got together and said, fuck these motherfuckers. We are going to, you know, I got to find it, because, you know, everything got fucked up. So give me just a second. I got to play something. That's for later. We'll change this one.
Got one specifically for Those dirty bastards.
Yeah. I mean, it was straight up like this shit right here. It was, even us, even down here, down, on the southern side of things.
You fucking ho dunk, po dunk, well then there, motherfuckers!
We all got together and
You want to play this game, bitch? You want to roll the dice against USA, bitch? Get Ahmed! That's how we play the game, baby!
And that's how we fucking felt. And we went and, of course, a couple years later, it was whole fucking, you know what I'm saying? The hearts and minds things really fucked it. I don't want to get into that shit tonight. Holy cow, we're getting bombed over here. Joe Biden is not uniting this country. No shit. He's doing the exact opposite of that one, Carl. Yeah, they don't want freedom. You're right. They don't want freedom. I swear it's like watching the fucking dictator. Thank Aladdin, we are oppressed. That's exactly what it's like. Mike's talking about Biden's speech. We missed it. We were too busy dealing with this. Mm-hmm. He says it wasn't worth the time, basically, so I must protect the vaccinated from the unvaccinated. Time to be subjected and ostracized. Yeah, we'll get back to that later because we actually got something on that.
Yeah.
With an exchange that I had on fucking Facebook, of all things. Yeah, 9/11, Carl, 9/11 may have been 20 years ago, but it's just like it was yesterday for me. And it'll never leave me till my dying breath. I will remember what happened to 3,000 of our countrymen. And unfortunately, I also remember 2021 as the year that we sucked their cock. Well, we didn't. The fucking government did. Straight up fucking had a ball, balls deep in the face. I mean, that's basically what they did to us. No, we are not united like 9/11. I know that's what you meant, brother. I didn't mean to say that in an odd way, but I can agree with you on that. Of course, now I got to figure out where everything's at. Pig fucker.
You pissed it off.
No, I didn't piss it off. Somebody else pissed it off. I just got to deal with it being pissed off until we figure out how to fix everything. Just because I feel like it. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not going to get into a political debate with the bullshit because we're already going to be talking about it. But I just wanted to, do a short about 9/11 and about what we were doing and how we felt. We love hearing from you guys and how you felt and everything else. But this is a song that was playing in my head, and this is the song that we're going to be playing right now, and it's for our boy Sean over here on Spreaker.
Take a closer look at me, 'cause I was born to be a
sir. That's not one of my verses. Who are you?
I am the machine. What? I'm the machine! Okay!
You are listening to the Machine Radio Show.
Not your daddy's conservative talk radio.
Who the fuck do you think you are?
I'm the machine! Fuck that bitch. This is Tonight you party with us, yes?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Skate.
And we're back. And if you think, the other stuff makes your blood boil, if you think that video made your blood boil, wait till you find out what's next. First, I do believe we have a clip from Bride of Chucky, don't we? Yeah, we got a 1:34 clip of Bride of Chucky, little Miss Saki there.
Okay, moving on. Can you explain a little bit more about why the White House in a statement is calling the Taliban businesslike and professional?
Well, I would note that in that statement, what we were announcing was the fact that a Qatari Airlines flight successfully landed in Qatar with American citizens, legal permanent residents, and Afghans on board who joined us in our fight over the last several years. We wanted to note that the Taliban was cooperative in facilitating the departure of these American citizens and legal permanent residents from HKIA.
Was that before or after they started cutting their fucking tongues out? Was that before or after they just started killing people at random? Was that before or after they held the planes hostage? Was that before or after 14 of my fucking brothers were blown up? Before or after, bitch? I want to know.
You cock-juggling thunder cunt!
Promised we would get American citizens out. We promised we would get legal permanent residents out. We promised we would get our Afghan partners out. And we promised we'd press the Taliban to get them out. And that's exactly what we did.
But you're saying the Taliban is businesslike and professional. Their interior minister has an FBI wanted poster. He's got a $10 million bounty on his head. What's the business?
We are here to celebrate the return of American citizens who wanted to leave Afghanistan, of legal permanent residents, of Afghans who fought by our side, to Qatar successfully on a Qatari Airlines flight. And in order to get those people out, we had to work with some members of the Taliban to press them and to work in a business-like manner to get them out. That is what we were stating in the statement.
And in that statement, it says this is a positive first step. Towards what?
Towards getting additional people out who want to leave Afghanistan.
That is not what it is. That's not what it is at all. Fuck. All right. Go ahead. As you were. Your thoughts.
My thoughts on it?
Mm-hmm.
Business-like. Or maybe it's just simply that they're... Well, let me back up here. So all the equipment that we've left them, they know who these people are. Do you honestly think they're going to let them go free? Right. They're going to hunt them down eventually. They're going to slaughter them, torture them. So it's more of a ruse, I think, than anything else. It's a bullshit cover.
That's exactly my point, Brian. Listener Brian says, how much money did they pay the Taliban this time?
Maybe they didn't pay him money. Maybe they gave him more equipment.
No, they got plenty of that. I mean, they got high value gear that even most nations don't have. And it was handed to the Taliban.
So it'll be equipment that'll be used on us.
Oh, you mean like our own MRAPs, our own helicopters,
Mm-hmm.
our own planes, our own munitions of any sort?
Yeah.
And, of course, the Bride of Chucky there fucking last time was like, well, when you leave a war zone, you don't necessarily take everything with you. Exactly, you don't. But what you do is blow that shit up.
So it can't be used.
Especially encrypted equipment. Especially files that have all of your helpers on it. Which is why multiples of them were found by the Taliban and had their tongues cut out for helping the U.S. military. They just started killing people at random that were on that list. But, what do we know? We don't know anything. We're just a bunch of...
You fucking ho dunk, po dunk, well then there, motherfuckers!
From Central Illinois. We don't know anything. We have no education. Dude, I'm watching our numbers go up and then drop, up and then drop, up and then drop. Hey, if you don't like what you're hearing, you don't have to fucking listen. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. I am not going to be here for your feelings. And I'm not going to clean up my language. And I'm definitely not going to stop playing heavy metal. So if you want any of those things, you're in the wrong radio show. You can move the fuck on. Bye-bye. Das vidanya, bitches. Yeah, Brian, we almost played that too. I don't even know if I still have it on here. But if you think that makes your blood boil, would you like to lead us off?
Sure. So does anybody remember former U.S. Army Major Nadal Hassan? Anybody?
Does anybody remember who Nadal Hassan is?
Anybody? Well, let me remind you that he is the man behind the murder of 13 people and injuries to 43 others during his November 5th, 2009 shooting rampage at Fort Hood. And the reason why we brought him up is because this man wrote an open letter to the Taliban last month congratulating them for their Afghanistan takeover. Why was he allowed to write a letter and send it out?
Yeah, exactly. One, why was he allowed to write a letter at all and have it sent out? Two, why is this motherfucker still alive? This is not civilian court. This is military court. The second he was tried, he should have been taken outside and shot.
Yep.
So, he was, when was he convicted? He was convicted not shortly after, right?
I believe so.
So they should have had his trial, drug his ass right outside, right from them fucking chairs, and blew his goddamn head off.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can read his words if you want.
Yeah, I'll read what he wrote. So, this is what it says. We have won. All praises be to Almighty Allah. Congratulations on your victory over those who hate for the laws of the Almighty God to be supreme on the land. I pray to Allah that He helps you implement Sharia law correctly, and fairly.
What's correctly and fairly about Sharia law? Because if you don't know anything about Sharia law, then you're a fucking retard. Reason why I say that is because in Sharia law, I'm telling you right now, God is not going to say, hey, you know what? Women are nothing but birthing machines. That's all they are. So you need to keep them completely covered because they shouldn't be seen at all. They should be locked up. They should have no rights at all. That is not what God would do at all. But apparently that's what this motherfucker. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so the last part of his letter says, we must learn from the nations of the past and not let our wretchedness overcome us, thus earning his being God's wrath. It is to Almighty God we give thanks.
So having a shooting rampage, injuring 43 and killing multiples is considered God's work now.
According to the Quran. We are the infidel.
That it is, Mike. He says this is the rise of totalitarianism. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is all these people that are, America is just so terrible. They're mean against women, women's rights and stuff like that are the ones that are going out there going, yay, Taliban, good job. Hey, take care of us. We trust you to do the right thing. Seriously, they're that fucking stupid. They literally said, well, they'll do the right thing. They'll do it. No, really, they won't. They never will. What they will do is they will implement Sharia law where women are nothing but, like I said, a birthing machine and have zero rights. Anybody who is different at all or who doesn't believe in their God will die. This is reality. This is not to put a little love in your heart, progressive Democrat thing. This is reality. And you must awaken from it. You must get out of that dream that they are going to be good for Afghanistan, that they're going to be good for people, that they're going to be good at all, because they're not. They're fucking terrorists. That's all they will ever be. And this administration just handed it to them on a silver platter.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, like you said, they'll never change. Well, they can't change. They are following their Quran. Because if they do change, then the penalty for that would be death to them. They're not going to allow that. You know, we would call them fanatics because of how they follow the Quran, but they're not really fanatics. They're just following what it says. You know, a lot of, like, you know, you said if you don't know anything about it, a lot of people haven't read the Quran. They don't know what it's all about.
I have.
Yeah, I've gone through it.
It's not great.
Nope,
No.
not by any means.
But I, at the same time, I do have friends that are Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
They said they will say they are not Islamists. They do not believe in how these guys believe, and they never will. They don't follow that doctrine. Man, what a fucking... This is going to give me a migraine. And it says, given the Taliban victory in Afghanistan and President Biden's apparent capitulation on many fronts, which is all of them. I mean, his predecessor, not Trump, the other predecessor, you know who I'm talking about, the one that he was vice president under, was bowing to these people, bowing to other world leaders who would wish to have us dead. Yeah. It says Nadal, Hassan, and I are anxious to see what, if any, action will be taken with respect to the individuals still incarcerated in Guantanamo. Well, personally, I think they should just set the place on fire. But, man. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, Brian's got a point, though, before we get going.
What's up?
He says, but it's okay for them to cling to their God, guns, and religion, right?
Right.
Yeah, just not us. We'll be talking about that later, too. As you work, carry on.
No, Galligan added, he goes, given the Taliban a victory in Afghanistan and President Biden's apparent capitulation on many fronts, Nadal, Hassan, and I are anxious to see what, if any, action will be taken with respect to the individuals still incarcerated in Guantanamo. Question is will
there is no respect for them, you fucking dullard.
Are they going to release them? You know, is it wouldn't surprise me if the Taliban doesn't start asking for that next, for these people to be released.
Well, they've probably already gotten billions of dollars in cash on pallets like we did with Iran, and they've got billions of dollars in military equipment. Again, like I said, even some of the most, some of our UN nations don't even have what they have now. So they're probably, yeah, you're right. Biden will once again bow down and give them whatever they want. Meanwhile, he'll be fucking this country.
Yeah.
excuse me, but I'm gonna have to say that, yeah. Mike says, and what does that mean for the USA? We were there for 20 years, and when you look at it now, what was it for? I love all the vets and active service members. I stand with them 100%, and it hurts me to think. You know, I've heard that question bounced around quite a bit lately. I have. And you're right. What does that mean? And I myself, I don't have an answer for it. I know it makes me sick to my fucking stomach. It makes me sick to my stomach knowing that my brothers and sisters went over there to fight and die to give them a better life. And this president said, here you are, have the country.
Yeah.
And of course, we talked about it before, where everybody's, well, Trump was going to do that. I was like, no, Trump was doing a drawdown, not a complete draw out. There's a difference. He also gave them a warning. If you so much as take a village of 5 people, we're coming in with Moabs and leveling the fucking place. This president, you can go all the way to Kabul. Shit, you can take Kabul. Oh, wait, there's still people there? Oh, well, they don't count because we didn't get them out. We don't have time to get them out anyways. And his response when seeing people falling from planes and stuff like that, trying to escape the dangers of having the Taliban overtake the entire fucking country. Oh, that was 3 or 4 days ago, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, 9/11 was 20 years ago, and I still don't forget that. And I'm sure the people who lost their loved ones with the bombing attack and with the people falling off the planes, they have families too. I bet they won't forget.
Mm-hmm.
You just breeded more people that hate us. That's what you did. This is our lives, people. This is what our country's gone to. Go ahead. We'll get to the next story in a minute. I was going to set up for a break, but I don't even know what to play yet.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's sad. Question is what is the future going to hold?
We have a future.
There's always a future, whether it's bleak or it's good.
Is this what our future is? Is this where we're going?
Yeah, I don't know.
And they wonder why we're angry. They wonder why we're mad. They wonder, and they put people like us on lists. They want to silence us. They want to put us on lists and everything else like that because we are not one of them. We are not a part of their little clique that won't forget what happened, that won't lay down for it.
And for the rest of the population, they'll keep them busy with making sure they get the stick, the COVID stick.
Mm-hmm. Not supposed to say that. It's bad.
COVID's bad.
Everything's bad. Remember, you can prick your finger, but you can't finger your prick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I'm going to read some more of our chat log here before I hit the button for break. Mike says he lost family over there. I lost friends over there, man. I lost a couple of guys that even I went to boot camp with. And he says, yep, and now we have 50,000 Afghans, mostly men. They may have terrorist connections or be a terrorist themselves. And we said that before. We said the Taliban is not dumb. They're not dumb. And there's, somebody, they just don't know anything. Bullshit. We talked about this last week. Even the Taliban has a meme game. The left don't have a meme game.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to be fairly decently smart to be able to take over an entire country in flip flops and a fucking robe. Okay. But of course, when you're playing the Hearts and Minds game, it's kind of easy for people to do that, to walk all over you. Brian says Biden took a shit on the country and forgot to flush. Yeah, and the blessings raining upon us isn't rain, it's piss. Mike says we are free Americans that won't lay down. That's why they want to silence us. Absolutely. Oh, Brian says, where's Emmett Brown when we need him? But this song just fits. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
What you listening to?
The Machine Radio Show.
What did you say? I didn't stutter. I said
The Machine Radio Show.
You just blew my mind.
You're welcome.
Enjoy the show. It's time for a random thought from the Machine Radio Show. This is Brandon from the Machine Radio Show. Isn't it just so comforting to know that every single hand you have ever shaken has possibly had a dick in it? This has been your random thought from the Machine Radio Show.
And we are back, and Mike, I'll tell you, no joke. He says there should be a lot more people in here. I'm going to let everyone know to join in on Thursdays, and our brothers should all be on here listening, engaging with us. Absolutely. We always welcome more, and that's why we're trying to get sponsors and get our Patreon going and stuff like that, because unfortunately this shit does cost us a lot. Cost me a lot, at least. It's not cheap, it's not free, and we still love doing it. I mean, I've been doing it for over a decade. It's fantastic. I drugged this poor hapless bastard in a few years ago, and he's laughing. I played one of the random thoughts.
Which
played
one?
The dick. Yeah, so for those of you who are twitchy about the COVID, just imagine every time you shake somebody's hand, touch your face, you just touch their dick on your face.
Yes.
I'm just putting that out there for you. You know.
Surprise, motherfucker.
You can't go by that. He says, I only see 3 people on the YouTube channel right now. You can't go by that.
Yeah.
Because the majority of our people won't have a YouTube. They don't log in. And we're not on just on YouTube, homie.
Yeah.
We are on Periscope, Twitch, Spreaker, and we are spread throughout other places as well. And like we said, most people don't want to log in, and our people don't do that for the most part.
Yeah, we've got a program that combines all of our viewers, so we know who's on. We also get to see when they chat with us.
Yeah,
from all the platforms.
Right. See, I always wondered that. I wondered that if you had to make a channel to actually chat with us, or if you could be not logged in and still be able to talk. I don't think you can.
Yeah, I think you have to be logged in.
Okay, that explains a lot, because I had a few people that were trying to talk to me on something else. I'm like, dude, I don't even check that. I've got 3 fucking screens to deal with, plus multiple other things. I'm not going to be looking at my phone trying to read this too.
Is it me and Ho-Ho we're talking? We also have Discord, which we haven't used it in I don't know how long.
Dude, I don't even think I have it. I don't even think my Discord works right now. I seriously don't. But we're trying to get on Rumble and stuff like that. But you're talking an extra $50 a month just to get on Rumble, and we need to get on there. I've opened up a Gab. We have 1 follower because nobody knows we're on Gab yet.
I need to get on Gab.
Yeah, nobody knows we're there, so we got one person that's like, "Oh, dude, there they are," and start following us. I'm like, "I'm sorry," and
they're probably like, "I'm not alone."
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, let's get back to work, shall we? I moved this forward. I hope you don't mind if you can bring that forward, sir.
I got it.
Okay, so we know the walking rectum, who used to be a high-end or high, guy in the ATF. He's apparently being thrown out of the position. He's not even being considered for the position anymore. But he's being. Well, let's just get into it first, and I'll talk about it. Here, go ahead.
Okay, so President Joe Biden reportedly plans to withdraw the nomination of David Chipman, the Gabby Giffords gun control associate, whom the administration put forward to lead the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. Let's see.
Sounds like a good weekend at the farm.
Oh, yeah. The Washington Post reported the news about Chipman as well, citing the bipartisan pushback against gun controllers' nomination. This news comes a day after Breitbart News pointed out that Chipman would need at least one Republican senator to defect to the Democrat side to secure confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump Jr. has been among the strongest and most consistent voices against Chipman throughout the nomination confirmation process.
Well, we've already talked about him before. I mean, he couldn't even tell, he had a definition for what an assault weapon's supposed to be, and then all of a sudden he didn't have a definition for what an assault weapon's supposed to be. And when he was pushed, I don't have a definition for that. And we're like, well, you're trying to be ahead of the ATF, which is alcohol, tobacco, and what?
Firearms.
Firearms. Oh, shit. Firearms. You mean he would have to know what the fuck they are?
It's probably in the job description.
Okay, well, he's a walking rectum anyway, and the guy doesn't have a clue I don't even know how he made it through the ATF. In fact, it's kind of bad on the ATF to have somebody of his ignorance actually in their ranks, because the guy is almost as good as that Army general that said, I'm going to go full semi-automatic. Remember that dumb fuck?
Yeah.
I'm going to go on CNN. I'm going to go full semi-automatic. It's like, what the fuck is... Wait, what? I heard that, as it was being... I'm just like looking at the screen and go, is he fucking serious right now?
I look at the screen and I'm like twitching.
Yeah. Like,
what?
It's like, wait, is there something I'm missing? And, and like the guy, the ghost gun guy or the fucking... This is a ghost gun. We'll play that clip later if I can find it, because I don't even know where it's at. Yeah, or the bullet button. This is the bullet button. No, that's a magazine release button, but close. I mean, after you drop it, you put another mag in, that'd be another bullet. But it's not a bullet button. It's not a magic button that you push and all of a sudden it creates bullets. This isn't fucking Judge Dredd.
Right.
All right. Go ahead. As you were, carry on, sir.
Let's see. For an example, on July 9th of 2021, Trump Jr. calling out Senator Joe Manchin and John Tester. He pissed it off again.
I noticed.
For their refusal to state if they would support their constituents'
I'll turn it down so I don't piss it off in your ear again.
Love for the Second Amendment or support Chipman's gun control agenda. Trump Jr. made clear Manchin and Tester had to pick one or the other, the Second Amendment or Chipman. They could not choose both. And then 4 days later, on July 13th of 2021, Trump Jr. doubled down on his efforts against Chipman by urging Democrat senators from red and purple states to oppose Chipman's confirmation vote this week, and calling on the public to fight back as well by pressuring the senators to vote against him.
And that we did, and that's the reason why, technically speaking, that we're not getting him. But at the same time, who else is going to be possibly put in that position? Who is going to be the next douchebag to be put up there that's just like Chipman, only doesn't say it? That's the problem. The problem is like Mike said, trade one evil for another.
Yeah. That's true.
And, Chipman is.
This is my boomstick.
Yep. And you're not going to get it. And of course, I can hear our progressive shills that listen to the show constantly talking in the background right now. well, nobody's trying to take your guns. Who tried to take your guns? They literally ran on that platform. Obama said at the beginning of his, "I am going to take that gun. You're not. It's going to be a mandate. What do you think a mandatory buyback is? You dumb fuck. By the way, they didn't own it in the first place, so I don't know how they could buy it back. But making it mandatory means that you have no choice but to get rid of it. So use your head for something other than a fucking hat rack. Okay." And not only that, I explained to you this before. They're not going to take the guns. They're not going to rewrite to get rid of the Second Amendment, abolish the Second Amendment, because they know they can't do that. There's no way possible. They'll never get it through. But what they will do is they will throw regulations and laws constantly at it until it is impossible to indulge in the Second Amendment, therefore making it useless. Trust me, you don't want to fuck with me on this. I've done enough research, and I've got terabytes worth of research saved, so you just don't want to fucking argue with me. Go ahead.
I wanted to bring up that the NRA and National Shooting Sports Foundation have also fought long and hard against Chipman's nomination confirmation, as has Senator Ted Cruz and some others. So, but, like you were saying, they may not come directly. They really haven't been coming directly after the gun. It's more like ammunition.
They're chipping it off a little bit at a time.
Accessories, yep. Until it renders the
useless.
gun useless.
Yep. And Obama himself even said that. He goes, "I'm not going to come for your guns. I'm going to go for your ammunition."
Mm-hmm.
And Biden's following suit. You'd be surprised that we do actually get a lot of ammunition from Russia. Guess what we're not getting ammunition from now?
Yeah.
So my beautiful Svetlana, which is the name for my Mosin Nagant 9130, is now pretty much a wall hanger because you can't get ammunition for it. My 1931 Mosin Nagant revolver is equally as useless. Granted, it was useless to begin with. I felt sorry for the poor bastard that had to carry that thing into battle, because it is not even combat effective. It is the most inaccurate firearm I think I've ever owned. It's just a pretty little collector's toy.
Right.
That's all it is. That I've shot maybe 50 times total. Because I'm sorry, it's shit. I love my brothers, and I got friends in Russia. I really do. I have friends in Russia, and if they heard me say that right now, they'd be like, "You motherfucker." But go ahead.
I don't really have anything else on this.
Well, aren't you just full of wonderful news? But since we're on a roll of Biden's bullshit, we'll just keep going. Excuse me. That stuff is giving me like the fucking burps like you wouldn't believe. Former Trump White House senior counselor Kellyanne Conway refused a demand on this Wednesday, I think, from President Joe Biden to resign as a member of the Board of Visitors for the Air Force Academy. He is trying to force out anybody and everybody that had anything to do with the former president at all. It says, in a letter addressed directly to Biden, Conway responded, "I am not resigning, but you should." Go ahead.
He continued on by saying, "I am in receipt of the letter you sent me today, demanding that I resign from the Board of Visitors to the United States Air Force Academy or be terminated by 6 p.m. tonight." Conway noted several other men and women President Donald Trump appointed to serve on the Academy boards reportedly received similar letters. Kathy Russell, the director of the White House's Presidential Personnel Office, sent letters to 18 individuals on 3 different boards asking for them to resign. The list includes the Board of Visitors to the Air Force Academy, Military Academy, and the Naval Academy, and the White House had said. Russell said she was sending the letters on behalf of President Biden. Conway pointed out in her response to Biden that such demands were a break from precedent and seemed to be aimed at further politicizing the military academies.
Right.
She She wrote, 3 former directors of President personnel inform me that this request is a break from presidential norms. It certainly seems petty and political, if not personal. The result is that faithful and willing public servants will be discouraged or thwarted from service. Our service academies will risk being further politicized and polarized.
Mm-hmm.
It's, she concluded in a rebuke of Biden, it was also a privilege to serve a president whose actions resulted in the deaths of terrorists like
Baghdadi, yeah,
and Soleimani, rather than a president whose actions result in the death of 13 U.S. service members.
Well, and we got, like I said, this is the Kellyanne Conway one, right? Kellyanne Conway.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have Sean Spicer. Sean Spicer says, I will not resign from the Naval Academy, suing the Biden administration for kicking him off the board. Yeah. Spicer declared that he received a letter from the Biden administration informing him that he would be fired from the Naval Academy board by 6 p.m. on Wednesday if he does not resign immediately. In no uncertain terms, Spicer said he will not resign and announced he's joining a lawsuit against the administration. Absolutely. Because, like they said, all Trump employees, including himself, have been kicked off the boards of the United States Naval Academy, Air Force Academy, and West Point in an unprecedented move by the Biden administration. I'm announcing tonight for the first time that I will not be submitting my resignation and will be joining the lawsuit to fight this, and as well as he should. Because this is nothing, what they say again? Witch hunt?
Witch hunt, yeah.
This is a continuation of the Orange Man bad. He kicked my ass, kicked Clinton's ass, so now we got to punish him thing. This is exactly what this is. This is nothing more than a grandstanding operation by Diaper Dan and his fucking cabal of stupidity. That's exactly what it is. There's no other explanation for it. Because they were doing their job and doing their job effectively. It has nothing to do with their job performance or anything else like that. It has to do completely and utterly politically. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less. Still don't like it, do you?
It's still a little bit too sweet.
Yeah, it's so sweet that I got fruit fly in mine. Fucking dicks. You might want to back that up a little bit. Mike said 1937 Germany. No, I mean 1933. 1933 is when they started to push and started getting their anybody who wasn't with them out. Because remember, Hitler came to power in 33, January 30th of 33 to be exact. I don't really like that date. Because it's my birthday. But it's not funny, man. It's not funny. Anyhow, okay, we will be right back. I hope you like this song, too, because it just seems to fit right with the times. We'll be right back. I got to go pee.
Goska. Goska.
If you haven't hit the deer with 3 shots, you're a pretty lousy shot. That deer deserves to get away.
Are you, in fact, in favor of gun confiscation?
Yes, when it comes to AR-15s and AK-47s, weapons designed for use on a military battlefield, the high-impact, high-velocity round that is fired from those weapons, when it hits your body, expends all of its kinetic energy, destroying everything.
It's legal to hunt humans with 15-round, 30-round, even 150-round magazines.
Full semi-automatic.
Goska. Goska.
The AR-15, for good, bad, or indifferent, is the most commonly owned in the country.
It is not common. It is unusual. And no one in this country, including owners of AR-15s and AK-47s, think that what is happening right now is okay.
I've held an AR-15 in my hand. I wish I had it. It is as heavy as 10 boxes that you might be moving. And the bullet that is utilized, a 50 caliber, these kinds of bullets, need to be licensed and do not need to be...
This is a Goska. This right here has ability with a 30 caliber clip to disperse with 30 bullets within half a second. 30 magazine clip in half a second. Goska. Goska.
That is most of your prominent Democrats right there talking about the Second Amendment, which they don't understand anything about, obviously, because, I don't know a single AR-15 or ghost gun in the world that will shoot that many rounds in half a second.
30 rounds in half a second?
Yes.
I want to see the magazine clip.
Yeah, dude. I want to see what happens to the barrel.
You.
Yeah, 30 rounds in half a second is going to turn a shit into fucking silly putty.
Mm-hmm.
And, for your challenge to the dullards out there who don't understand weapons or semi-automatic or anything else like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's bullets. Okay? There's no way in hell my poor little finger is going to do 30 rounds in half a second. That's just retarded. But anyhow, speaking of stupid stuff, we need to talk about something that has happened local, and I promised I'd talk about it, and I got the information for it, so we will be talking about it. Apparently, the Illinois education system is back on their bullshit. The IESA has blocked Vision Way students from playing baseball due to the school not forcing mask mandate. There was no warning, no probationary period, nothing, no time to fix the situation at all. They just said, well, you're 3/4 of the way through the season, you're in the playoffs, go away. Is exactly what they did, right? It's pretty much what they did.
That's exactly what they did.
Yeah. Yeah, Vision Way is a privately owned school. It is not funded by the government. It is not funded by the state. So therefore, they have the right to do what they wish. And they decided, they don't have to. They're not forcing anybody to wear the mask. You can if you want, but you don't have to. Well, these students decided not to, and since the school does not force the placebo for dummies on children's faces, they have now been thrown out of their baseball league, which I believe I was told that the Vision Way students play for the consolidated schools, Edinburgh and Kincaid. Vision Way plays with them. They've played this entire season, and just now at the end of the season, they pull this shit. And by the way, none of the schools that were listed even got a warning. Not a single warning, nothing at all. Nothing at all. But like I said, Vision Way is a privately funded school. 7 boys and 3 girls were denied the right to play. They did not do this. They did this exactly like I said during the playoffs, which is bullshit in and of itself. They had a chance at possibly winning the title, and it has now been dashed because the state of Illinois says, well, since you're not wearing masks at your school, you're done. They couldn't have done this at the beginning of the season. Or maybe, a couple games in. No, they have to do it at the end and screw these kids. So these kids are losing the chance to not only play in the playoffs, but possibly win the entire IESA title because there is a Karen out there who turned them in for not enforcing the mask mandate. Because it's a private school, I sense a lawsuit.
It sounds like that they were targeted because they were private school.
It's exactly what it is. And Governor Gravy Sweats, the king of California, is probably somehow behind this in one way or another because, his gravy sweating ass has a hard-on for screwing over schools. I mean, out of his own mouth, he said that he would pull funding from schools if they didn't bend to his will. No, it's a real Christian school, brother. They are the ones being hosed. They're the kids that go there are the ones that are being screwed. They were not told about this. And by the way, when they play the game, they're not out there wearing masks. So it's not. It's because the school itself doesn't require them to wear masks that they're being screwed over. Right. See, he's catching on. He says now they got to breathe their own waste in a mask that gathers bacteria and makes you cross-contaminate everything. Right. Well, here's the fun part. I actually kind of got booted off of certain websites because they had the live feeds of the governor, and I would do commentary. every time Governor Horace P. McTitties walks up to the podium, he's touching everything, the podium, the microphone, anything else like that. And then you have the good doctor, Dr. Ezike, who seems to think that everybody in Illinois speaks Spanish. So she comes up there and she's touching everything. And then they have special guests who come up there and touch everything. So I've sit there and I'll do podium contamination count. They had a new fucking record one day because it was like what? In a 45-minute span, I sat there for 45 minutes, actually counted. Mm-hmm. It was like 35 times that they contaminated the podium. They'd walk away and stand away from people. There's nobody around them. They make sure to put the mask back on real quick.
All and then for show.
Yep, and then when somebody's got to talk, they come to the podium. Oh, dude, take the mask off. You got to take the mask off. And by the way, who the fuck makes his mask?
Why?
Because it's got to weigh 3 pounds. That's a lot of fucking face. I mean, how do you get it around all that jowl? The dude has got fat bastard like rolls on his neck, and I'm just trying to figure out the sheer mechanics of this.
This school's been put out like the way it was, but Governor,
they aren't forcing the stuff. That's what we're saying. The IESA is trying to force them.
The Governor Gravy Sweats was at the Farm Progress show last week, okay? Standing right next to people, not wearing a fucking mask.
No mask, no nothing, taking pictures and everything else like that. I mean, he went to the state fair, didn't he?
I believe he was at the state fair as well.
Yeah, he went to the state fair. I mean, he went to go see the butter cow, and he started eating it ass first. That's just what he does. I mean, no, you're misunderstanding us, Mike. It's not the school that's forcing anything. It's the IESA. It's the Illinois School Association that is forcing it on these kids.
It's basically
it has nothing to do with the school. The school said you don't have to wear a mask. You can do whatever you want. The state
is telling them
screwing a privately funded. Yeah,
right. The state is telling the school, because you do not wear a mask in your school, you are no longer able to play in the playoffs. It's the state that's screwing them over.
And they waited for the playoffs to do this too.
Well, because if they would have won, it'd make them look bad. That's why.
Right. And of course, like we said, we call him Governor Gravy Sweats. Well, obviously because he's a fat son of a. Well, he's a fat, greasy son of a. I'm trying to speak English. It's just not working. He's a big, greasy, fat guy who, I don't generally take health tips from a person who wheezes when he walks 10 feet, but it is what it is. But what a coincidence, because we always say, we call it California and not Illinois for a reason. It's because whatever California does, Illinois is sure to fucking follow. And here we go. California animal welfare laws will affect the Illinois farmer. Would you like to lead off on this?
Yeah, so Illinois pork producers who sell their meat to California have become frustrated and confused by Proposition 12, which is a California ballot measure that will affect the way they raise hogs, they as the farmers here in Illinois.
Right.
Tasha Bunting, Associate Director of Commodity and Livestock Programs for the Illinois Farm Bureau, said that the new regulations are set to go into effect in January, but they haven't yet to be finalized. So Proposition 12, she says, really doesn't have all of their rules implemented yet. What exactly it is going to look like hasn't been finalized. It is really putting our producers behind the 8 ball from the get-go. So Prop 12 regulations require farmers to adjust their barns to create larger pens for sows. Farmers will also need to comply with certification programs and implement new auditing procedures. 24 square feet of space is required for gestating sows.
Damn.
That's a big spot.
Yeah.
Farmers, scientists, and veterinarians in Illinois question the logic behind that standard.
As do I.
Yeah, Bunning said...
they do realize that we're going to eat these, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Bunning said those rules are not consistent with what we know good animal husbandry practices are. Congresswoman...
Bustos, yeah.
Yeah, Bustos commented on the predicament when she visited a pork farm in her district this summer. She said, members of the public who have never set foot on a family farm do not understand what it takes to get the job done.
And she is correct.
Yeah. Bunning said, for a state that doesn't have a lot of pork production, California is really setting the guidance for the industry. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, but California sets precedent for everything. I mean, look at anything in here right now causes cancer, but only if you're a laboratory rat and you live in California.
Yep.
Every fucking thing you touch comes with a warning. It says, may cause cancer, may be known to cause cancer in the state of California. Well, fuck, I'm never moving to California. I'm never going to live there. That's good because everything I touch, unfortunately, does cause cancer. Apparently, most of you have never been in the trades industry. Just putting that out there. Go ahead.
Bunning said, we have seen some estimates that say it will add $15 to $24 a sow per year to comply with these new requirements, which means your pork's going to go up.
Yeah. At $15 and $20, $24 per sow. You think bacon's high right now?
Yeah.
Good luck. As you were, carry on.
The North American Meat Institute, the American Farm Bureau Federation, and the National Pork Producers brought litigations last year to try to stop California from implementing the new regulations. The lawsuits were dismissed early this summer. Bunning expects other groups and some states to also mount challenges.
What exactly does California have to do with it? Yeah, well, we know what California has to do with Illinois. They're both progressive shitholes. But that's besides the point. You do you over there, and you leave us the fuck alone. How's that? That'd be wonderful.
So, do they actually eat pork over there? I thought that's where all the vegans live.
Yeah, them motherfuckers don't even eat milk products. What are they worried about fucking pigs for?
Exactly.
Them tofu eating, dick flavored latte sipping, skinny jeans wearing motherfuckers don't eat pork? Bullshit.
Bunning said
fucking smell like patchouli oil and unwashed ass. You're trying to tell me how to eat my fucking bacon. Fuck you.
So unfortunately right now it's just a wait and see. That was good.
That's another clip for the highlights for later, huh?
Yeah. In the meantime, Prop 12 regulations are an additional factor that is driving consolidation in the pork industry. Some experts have told us that we will continue to lose more of the smaller, independent producers who cannot make adjustments as quickly as the larger groups can. So your smaller farmers are going to go downhill.
Oh, but the Democrats always say they're against big big companies, big corporations. Gotta bust down them fucking, big massive corporations and tax the shit out of them and stuff like that. Well, guess what? That's all that's going to be left, and that's by design because they want to be able to tax these big motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead.
Let's see. And like I mentioned, because of the new requirements, analysts are expecting price of pork to go up in California, and also likely across the country. Bunning said, as pork producers have to shift into whatever this new production system may look like, it will most likely raise the pork prices in other parts of the U.S. as well.
As if bacon isn't high enough already, and the shit you get is a sheet of paper.
Yeah.
The best way to get bacon?
Thick cut.
Well, I was going to say the best way to get bacon is exactly how I did it.
Straight from the pig.
You go get a motherfucking pig, you take it to the butcher and be like, kill it. I want to eat it. And then they kill it, and then they cut it up into little pieces. Are you listening, you vegan fucks? I'll even give you a play-by-play. Okay, and then guts. And then they cut the head off, and then, the little feedy thingies. They cut them off too.
Thing.
We save them for later though, because we feed them to our dogs. Oh, and then they quarter it up. They make some bacon. Dude, have you ever had like a big cooked bacon jowl? Like a fucking, it's amazing. You gotta try it sometime. I love bacon. And I actually had one of them get mad at me and say, well, you need to watch this video. I'm like, I watched the video, the video of them, actually killing one. I'm like, okay, so when's the good part coming? It's like, huh? I was like, okay, I seen the video of them killing it, and now they're gutting it, and I'm suddenly getting hungry. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't feel that way, like you do. Nope, that's food for me. Yeah. I mean, I remember one time in particular, one of my family members got a cow. It was like 3 days old, and they're like, what should we name it? And I was like, Porter. And they're like, Porter? I was like, yeah, as in porterhouse, because I'm going to eat that motherfucker when he gets older. I didn't get to eat it. They turned into a pet. I was like, I didn't want it as a pet. I wanted some fucking steak and some burger. But, it is what it is.
You were saying that they showed you how they killed it and be like, all right, I can do that. Now show me the video on how to butcher it.
Yeah, show me the proper video on how to make bacon. I'll be okay with it. I mean, I felt bad for my cousin one time.
Why is that?
Because we brought a pig out to the farm.
Mm-hmm.
He come up. He thought it was a new pet.
Oh, Jesus.
An hour later, he comes back, and there was a rotisserie. He was pissed off, man, because we had that pig on a rotisserie. I don't think he ate any of it, dude. I was sitting there fucking salivating, waiting for it to get done. I'm like,
fuck it, let's eat it raw.
Shit. Yes, state of Illinois and California are lockstep in stupidity, though. And of course, they're screwing the little guy, which we already knew that.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of which, we still have a clip that we need to play too. It's a video clip, and I'll do the commentary because I've actually watched the clip.
Okay.
So it makes sense because it'll sound like a bunch of garbled shit until we actually talk about it. But we are going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Hey lefties, liberals and progressives, this is not a safe space. I repeat, this is not a safe space.
If you are one of those squishies who are easily offended, put on your safety pins, pussy hats, and leave this radio station. Or you can free yourself and get educated.
Well, hell yeah! I tried to twist him up, but he wouldn't have it. Hell no. This old boy, wow, we about to have to keep this one.
You are listening to the Machine Radio Show with your hosts, Brandon
and Matt.
Talking about a bunch of hobos with fingers in each other's pooper in a stranger's car with talk radio playing really loud. It's going to be a nice evening.
Okay, shit just got real weird. I think I'm going to need a safe space.
What the? Are those friends of yours, Matt?
Oh, hell no.
Are you sure?
Oh, shut your dumpster and start the show already.
Well, alright, pissy pants. Let's do everything you want to do.
And we're back. And I was told we need to make more of those. More of the adepts. I just haven't had time. or the rational thought to actually put those together.
Put one together, yeah.
Sometimes this poor fucker here, he'll be sitting at home. It'll be like 8 o'clock at night. I'm like, dude, you got to come over and record. What? Like, I came up with something. I swear. It sounds good. You got to get over here. And then we're like, it'll only take 5 minutes. 2 hours later. Like, is it done yet? Yeah, it's pretty close. No, you need to record that one more time. Like, one of the clips actually is starring my cousin playing the Karen.
Yeah.
And it took a few shots. I had to keep telling her, I was like, no, you need to sound more Karen-y.
Karen-y.
She's like, what? I was like, you need to pronounce, and I would do it, and I'm like, you need to pronounce it like that. And she was so nervous and so scared. I was like, what are you scared about? You're just talking with me.
Yeah.
She's like, there's a microphone in my face. I'm like, nobody else hears you but
Nobody
me.
else hears it.
Nobody else hears you but me. You'll be fine. She's like, okay. And she's like, who the fuck do you think you are? I'm like, no. It's who the fuck do you think you are? I'm like, I'm sitting there doing this theatrical shit with her. I'm like, you got to do it like this, And finally, she does it, and I'm like, that's it. That's the fucking one. I'm sitting there doing this. She's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm like, have you not listened to the show? There's a lot wrong with me. We're related. You should know. That is the band that played was A Killer's Confession. They're actually good friends of mine. You need to check them out. Doesn't matter what song that they do or what they come out with. Off on a small tangent here before we get back to what we're supposed to be doing, which is unfortunately the news and what's happening in this country. I don't know how Matt feels about them, but I believe the talent in the band is one of the they're definitely some of the highest talents out there. Drums, guitar, bass, everything. They're a singer. They're all awesome, but it's a rarity to find a vocalist who, if he wants you to feel sad, if he wants you to feel happy, if he wants you to feel pissed, or depressed or anything else like that, he can portray that, and he can make you feel that, and that's what's rare about that band, and that's why I like them so much. Yes, I believe they are on Apple Store, and I think they're on iTunes and Spotify and everything else. But yeah, I think they're everywhere. But you can find them. I will type out the name for you so you can.
Yeah, I would say I definitely like them. They're always on my playlist.
Dude, they've come out with more.
Mm-hmm.
They've come out with more, and we're still trying to get certain people to be on the show. Apparently, once you get so big, you don't give a fuck about anybody else below you. But I'm not saying that this guy doesn't. I'm just saying I haven't been able to read. I have been in talks with him, but haven't been able to get him on. But Burden, the rapper Burden,
really,
I want that motherfucker on our show.
Yeah.
And I've done. If you look at our channel, Michael, I've done reaction videos and stuff like that. Occasionally, I'm going to call this poor hapless bastard up, and we're going to react to shit together. And it doesn't necessarily have to be music. Everybody thinks that when I do reaction videos, because it is technically all music right now, I'll react to Karens being Karens. I'll react to racing videos and stuff like that. Don't give a shit. Reaction is a reaction, but one of these days I'm going to bring him and our partner from Weaponized Sloth Productions, Mr. Ho-Ho, the Ho-Ho Show with me. And we're going to be doing that. And there's a possibility, there's a reason why I wanted to talk to you about this weekend. Because remember that video about Jackass? You know what I'm talking about? Remember? The vehicle hitting stuff?
I think so.
It may happen this weekend. Unfortunately, not with the vehicle we were thinking of. It may never move again. And I'll explain to that here in a little bit. Yeah, definitely do it. And dude, if you get on their Facebook, tell them my actual name. Tell them Brandon sent you, and you'll probably have to use my last name and stuff like that. Tell them that I sent you, and they're good people. They'll talk to you. Like I said, everybody in that band, they're awesome. They have a new guy. I don't know him as well yet, so I really can't say much of him. But I've met him. He's a cool dude. But if you've heard, I can't believe I'm gonna say his name because I fucking hate that. Hate them from what they did him. But the band Mushroomhead, Waylon was one of the lead singers of Mushroomhead for 12 years. Waylon is a down-to-earth guy, very nice guy. He'll do anything for anybody. And, I mean, and his musical talent is unbelievable. The guitarist, Tommy Church, I've known him since he played in the Autumn Offering, and that's 20 fucking something years ago. Amazing guitarist. Absolutely, unbelievably talented. And just a down-to-earth, cool guy, just as redneck as we are, maybe even a little bit more, to be honest with you. And J.P. Cross, the bassist, amazing, very cool guy. And then Morgan, who's actually Waylon's stepson, he's a phenomenal drummer. He's a really cool dude. I wish they lived closer because I'd be hanging out with them. And by the way, Michael, they are in your backyard. They're in Florida. So you might be able to see them. Right now, I think they're in Ohio playing at the Incarceration concert. But Jack, we're getting ready to get into the last two parts of the show since we already went through most of it. You always show up late. It hurts our feelings on a personal level, man. It's just, it's just painful. But anyhow, let's get back to it. And we're talking about the wonderful state of fucking California, as usual, because we live here, and it's a shithole. But, they are now doing automatic verification, and apparently they've already busted 2,700 license plates that are suspended for lack of insurance. And there's a reason why I'm bringing this up. It has nothing to do with it, because I believe you should have insurance. I don't think it should be mandated, but I believe I would want you to have insurance, because if you hit my shit and can't pay for it, I'm probably going to strangle you. Well, you can do jack things before and after 7 p.m. to 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, right? Come on now.
Just never during the show.
Chances are you probably, Michael, you probably did get to meet Waylon and Jeff and stuff like that, but you didn't party with Skinny or any of them because Skinny's a shitbag. I'm not going to get into that. You're in Ohio right now too? Seriously, Michael, you're probably a couple hours away from me. I'm not joking. But since you're in Ohio, the Incarceration concert, I believe, is going on right now. I don't know what. I'll have to look that up. Well, Thursdays are busy days. They are busy days for us, man. Come on. He's hurt me on they're hurt me on a personal level. No, you're cool. Holy shit, it's sold out. I guess you won't be going. September 10th through the 12th. And before we get into the article that I was just trying to talk about, I guess I'll go back on another tangent. Here's your list of bands. This is what you're missing. Dude, they're from Cleveland. What the fuck? Friday night is Slipknot, Mastodon, Killswitch Engage. Fucking right. Steel Panther, The Who.
Holy shit, The Who.
The Who. Ice Nine Kills, Bad Flower, Escape the Fate, New Year's Day, Current Spite, Reach NYC, Damnation, Molo Rillo, To Us Below, Along Came a Spider. Why do they have some sort of gay name like that? The other one I can't even pronounce. Dead Bundy, Pistachia. What the fuck? And Paul Bartolome. Saturday, beautiful. Absolutely, Saturday is beautiful. Mudvayne, A Day to Remember, Chevelle, Asking Alexandria, Pop Evil, August Burns Red, Crown the Empire, Bad Omens, Fame on Fire, 0936, Diamante, Saul's pretty cool, September Morning, Vampires Everywhere, Sink the Ship, Eclipsica, Ghosts of the Sun, Dread Engine, and Atamera. I've heard of Dread Engine. They're awesome. Sunday's it, man. I got a feeling I'm reading the wrong fucking one, but Rob Zombie, Hailstorm, Beartooth, Motionless Light, Fever 133, Wage War, All That Remains, The Devil Wears Prada, Attila, fuck Attila, Tetrarch, Corey Marks, Stitched Up Heart, A Killer's Confession, The Convalescence, Silent Theory, The Phoenix Within, Junexa, Saving Escape, Harmless Habit in a mud. I'm telling you what, Sunday would be the day I'd want to go. I probably wouldn't listen to Rob Zombie because all you hear is, yeah. Every other lyric, yeah. I probably wouldn't watch Hailstorm either because to me they're fucking boring, but I would probably watch Motionless in White. Definitely watch Wage War. That's one of our favorites. All That Remains, Devil Wears Prada. I'd piss on the stage at Attila because I can't stand them. Tetrarch is one of my personal favorites. Stitched Apart, and of course, The Killer's Confession and The Convalescence. Yeah, dude. And by the way, like I said, if you're in Cleveland, you're probably about 6.5 hours away from me. And depending on when you're going to be there, how far are you from Wisconsin? I don't remember, but I'll have to find out because I'm going to be there the 6th, starting the 16th. But we should get back to work because we've only got like 10 minutes left, and Jack is like, dude, go fuck yourself already. I mean, I'm telling you, I can hear the wheels turning. He's like, you know what, you go fuck yourself. Okay, I will, but just not on air. Ain't nothing wrong with a little 5-knuckle shuffle. But anyhow, as I was saying, roughly 2,700 Illinois residents' license plates have been suspended for lack of insurance. I'd really have insurance, but, you know, there is this whole freedom thing. But, you know, if you hit my shit and don't have insurance, I'm probably going to, you know, beat you severely. But the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because they're pushing random stuff through the Illinois plates. By the way, Michael, you've already heard my end of things. I'm not going to get into that. But this also means that a lot of us are targets. And they're really starting to look at people who have expired plates. I swear I'm not one of them people. Matt, are you expired too?
Well, no, I'm not expired.
I didn't admit that I was expired. I just said I asked if you're one of the expired.
They seem to think that, you know, suspending the license plate is going to stop people from driving. That's what I find amusing about it.
What if you have an extra vehicle?
It's a $100 fine and your plate is suspended.
So what are they going to do? Send one of the Illinois State Police out there to take your license plate off your vehicle and you can't get it back till you pay the fine? What the fuck?
Well, considering that there's a lack of law enforcement out there because of things that have been going on, you really think they're going to bother with looking at plates?
Right.
Or running them? They have to deal with other issues.
But yeah, they're starting to really push license plate cameras in the state of Illinois. They're really just trying to screw us over. Hey, Gloria, it's nice to see you. Yeah, Iggy Pop. Iggy Pop is a madman, I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not joking. I've watched some of the concerts and stuff like that. That dude is out of his mind. And she brings up, we'll just have to wing it. Absolutely. But yeah, right. We have this big issue with this state wanting to do overreaches. I mean, they've already raised their license plates up to astronomical heights when it comes to getting them, which is the reason why I haven't gotten them. I mean, dude, they're wanting like what, 130 just for my truck?
Yeah.
And 160 for the car because it has specialty plates on it. I mean, I can't even if I want to. I mean, I can't drive the Red Death anyway because it's all messed up. But even if I wanted to, that license plate would cost me $165. And then the plates for the one that I'm supposed to be driving that got busted, by the way, is $158, and then the truck was like $138, $148. So you're talking if I want to just license the three vehicles that I do own. Yeah, count.
You're close to about $500.
Over $500. Over $500 a year. And I'm glad I don't have a motorcycle anymore. Or a trailer.
Well, trailers are ridiculous too.
Oh no, they said that was an accident. They said that was an accident to raise the prices on the trailer plates. Yes. It was a glitch in the system that they didn't catch for almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You know the reason why they're rolling it back right now, right?
Why is that?
Because they're losing revenue left and right. See, that's the one thing that, any businessman knows. You do have to raise your prices on occasion. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But if you're taking the same product, like this little fucker here, or a license plate or whatever else like that, and you can get it somewhere else for cheaper, what are you going to do? Get it somewhere else for cheaper. I know people that don't even live in Missouri that have never moved out of Illinois that have Missouri plates because they have family down there and they'll use their address to get their plates because it only costs them like $20-$30 as opposed to $150, $160. Trailer plates have been they've lost a lot of revenue in trailer plates because trailer plates got so ridiculous that a lot of these construction companies and stuff like that were just selling their trailers. Like, fuck it, we don't need them. Do you blame them?
No.
Because they were paying like $2,000 or $3,000 a year to keep their trailers on the road. It's ridiculous. Welcome to the state of Illinois. And what we find particularly ridiculous about this in total is we were told many, many years ago, like when we were kids, literally, when the Michael Madigan days were still running, we had the toll booths at the border. You got to pay to be on the King's Highway. They said, well, that goes to roads and bridges and schools. No, it really didn't. Oh, by the way, they'll be out by a certain period of time. We won't need them anymore. No, they just raised the prices and kept them there anyway. And then they taxed you anyway on roads and bridges and schools. We have taxes for taxes that have taxes. And the toll booths are still there. But remember, if you go through iPass, I think you have 2 free ones a year. Two accidentals a year, so I only go up there once, so free. Oh boy, but yeah, that's the state of Illinois. Keith Moon, no, not yet. They did not resurrect Keith Moon. Sorry, not to hurt you. Anyhow, the last story on the docket here that we have for the next 5 minutes is sheriff says he wishes baby killer would have came out with guns so he would have shot him more. Would you please read this? This happened in Michael's backyard.
Lakeland, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd said he and his deputies wish the standoff with methamphetamine-fueled gunmen who murdered 4 random people, including a woman and the baby boy she was holding, would have ended differently.
Uh-huh.
Sheriff said it would have been nice if he'd come out with a gun, and then we would have been able to read a newspaper through him. Damn.
I love this sheriff.
If he's
my new hero.
Given us the opportunity, we would have shot him up a lot. The sheriff said the gunman, later identified as 33-year-old Brian Riley, was a coward who threw his hands in the air and surrendered after he was shot by deputies during the standoff at the home of the family he murdered. Sheriff said, you see, it's easy to shoot innocent children and babies and people in the middle of the night when you got a gun and they don't. But when he saw his life was in danger, he quit. Sheriff Judd said he and his deputies certainly wished he'd come out and finished his fight. The incident actually began at approximately 7:30 p.m. on September 4th when a woman called 911 to report a suspicious man had just showed up in her yard on North Socram Loop Road near Fulton Green Road. The woman said the man, later identified as Riley, told her that God had sent him to the home to speak to her daughter, Amber, but there was no one at the home by that name. The woman said she did not know the man and told him to leave, but he refused. She then alerted a man on a lawnmower about the reason for Riley's visit. Riley told the man that Amber was suicidal and that God had sent him there to their house to rescue her. The man on the lawnmower reiterated that no one by that name lived there and told him he needed to leave or they would call the police. Riley allegedly told the man he didn't need to call the cops because he is the cops for God. Yeah, I kind of wish he would have went out.
Yep, go ahead.
When Polk County deputies arrived at the family's home 6 minutes later, Riley had already left. They spent nearly half an hour searching for the suspect, but did not find him or his vehicle. Polk County Sheriff's lieutenant was out on another call at approximately 4:30 a.m. on September 5th when he heard 2 volleys of gunfire coming from a location approximately 2 miles away from his location. Residents began calling 911 about gunfire at approximately the same time. It was the same exact house the gunman had showed up 9 hours earlier. Deputies responded to the home and found a truck on fire and a path of glow sticks leading to the residence. They heard a popping noise out in the front yard just before they saw a suspect outside the house. The sheriff said Riley was totally outfitted in body armor and looked as if he was ready to engage us all in an active shooter situation, but we didn't see a firearm. The suspect ran into the home just before gunfire erupted inside. Deputies said they could hear a woman screaming and a baby whimpering. They tried to get into the home through the front door, but Riley had barricaded it. When deputies entered through the back door, Riley opened fire on them, according to the sheriff. He tried to murder a whole lot of my deputies, the sheriff told reporters. The gunman exchanged dozens of rounds of gunfire with deputies before they backed out of the home. At least one of the rounds hit the suspect, who surrendered a short while later. The sheriff said he came out with his hands up, and that's why there was no more gunfire. It would be nice if he had to come out with a gun, and then we would have been able to read a newspaper through him, and we'd be having a different conversation right now. But when someone gives up, we take them into custody peacefully. If Riley had given us the opportunity, we would have shot him up a lot, but he didn't because he was a coward.
Yep, I can agree with that.
Riley was transported to Lakeland Regional Hospital, where he allegedly grabbed a Lakeland police officer's gun and tried to steal it. First responders were able to subdue him. Law enforcement officers entered the house and found an 11-year-old girl suffering from at least 7 gunshot wounds. She looks our deputies in the eyes. There's 3 more dead people in the house. That was the sheriff telling the reporters. The little girl was airlifted to Tampa General Hospital, where she was rushed into emergency surgery. Polk County Sheriff's Office searched the home with robots to make sure Riley had not set up any booby traps before deputies went in to conduct a thorough search. Sheriff Judd said there were 3 residences on the property. In the main house, deputies found the bodies of 40-year-old Justice Gleason, his 33-year-old girlfriend, Teresa Lane, and their 3-month-old baby boy, Jody, who was in his mother's arms. The sheriff said, I will never be able to unsee that mother with that deceased infant in her arms as they both lie there dead. It is a horror.
If there's ever a time somebody's going to need therapy.
Yeah, it is a horror of the utmost magnitude. The body of a 62-year-old woman, Catherine Delgado, was found inside a second home on the property. Sheriff Judd said the woman was the grandmother of the murdered baby. Riley allegedly told detectives the victims begged for their lives, but that he killed them anyway. Sheriff said that he's just evil in the flesh. He is a rabid animal. The family also has a 10-year-old girl who was found safe at another location. The gunman fatally shot the family's dog, Diogi, who was named in honor of a Polk County Sheriff Officer K-9 who was killed in the line of duty 16 years ago. 11-year-old girl who was shot in the attack remained in critical but stable condition on Monday evening. The sheriff said she is in good spirits and doing much better.
How could she be in good spirits? Her entire family was just murdered. I think that's poor choice of words.
Apparently, she pretended to be dead. That's how she's still alive.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Investigators have found absolutely no connection between the family and their alleged killer. Oh, you got to be shitting me.
What?
Hold on a minute. Riley is a U.S. Marine Corps sharpshooter who joined the reserves after being honorably discharged after 4 years of service. He was working as a security guard with ESS Global Corporation at the time of the attack.
Is that your company?
Nope. We don't have anything in Florida.
Okay.
We're still considered small time. Sheriff Judd said Riley had no criminal history prior to the shooting. And it just goes on and on.
No, but he also obviously had mental health issues that need to be addressed.
Yeah.
That's just tragic, horrific, whatever else you can name it. It is. It's terrifying. People who want to defund the police and everything else like that and make it take longer for police to get there,
mm-hmm.
and then want you to be disarmed on top of that. This is what happens. This was 6 minutes. He killed these people in 6 minutes, and then was gone. Now it's COVID's in the air. Okay.
Allergy season is upon us because they've started harvesting.
Yep. But I don't know what to say about this, man. Other than I hope that little girl pulls through and is well. But man, think about the amount of therapy and everything else that girl's going to have to go through.
Oh, son of a bitch.
All right, man, I don't know.
Riley was treated for his gunshot wound at the hospital and has since been booked into jail on 7 counts of attempted murder of a law enforcement officer, 4 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of armed burglary with assault and battery, 2 counts of shooting into a building, attempted murder in the first degree with a weapon, and second-degree arson.
So if we add all those together, can we put him on death row and make it not last 10, 20 years before he gets executed?
I think so.
Okay.
Apparently he also told investigators that he was using methamphetamines at the time of the murders as well.
Yeah. Sounds like a grounds for insanity to plea.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of that, before we go, because we really do have to go, we're running over time here. There was an incident in California where people were just looking for a parking space, and they one of them got out of their vehicle to look for a parking space during. Apparently, there was a block party close by or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to find a parking space, and somebody come up and shot them both for trying to find a parking space.
Yeah.
Now you guys wonder why a bunch of people carry nowadays. But, all right, I think that's it for us tonight, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that last story was wholly depressing. I'm done. But that being said, thank you very much for joining us. We will not be here next week. I will be out of state, so we will not have a show next week. So you can just go back into our archives and listen to, a decade worth of us if you wish. And we will be back the week after, though. You can bet on that. But awesome. I will check in with you guys. I will throw some stuff on YouTube while I'm gone, and maybe do some Facebook stuff. But for the most part, I am out of here.
Same here.
All right.
All right. See you guys later.
See ya.